Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Sammy, United People's TV. You know, I realised, I think it's the 5th Monday of January. But look, we're here to talk about Manchester United's 4-2 win over Newport yesterday. And there are a lot of things to run through. Unfortunately, the new software is not ready yet, and it's not because I didn't work on it. I did another 4 hours of it on the weekend. There's a lot of troubleshooting that's going on. It's like, this is right, but then that's not right. I'm trying to build so many levels and layers of engagement into it that it's just taking a bit longer. But I promise I'm aiming to getting it done this week. I wanted to launch it on Monday, and I'm a few days delayed, but I'm hoping for Friday, and that's what I want to try and save it for. But we will speak through the 4-2 win over Newport. There were positives from that game, but I think United fans reasonably expected more when United are playing the 84th ranked team in England. And Ten Hag needs to deliver that now. You know, I'm a massive fan of Ten Hag overall in what he's done at United, but he has to deliver with INEOS watching on. We'll speak about that. We'll speak about Bruno saying that his teammates need to act like a team. Hojlund being frustrated at Garnacho, and I think justified as well. And there's more to speak about with Marcus Rashford, who's just arrived at Carrington, interestingly enough, with his brother and agent, Dane. I'll run through that. There's a video up there. There are a million, and there's about 40 other different talking points this morning. Good morning to everybody. I think it's going to be a busy show. Get involved. Who's here from the member gang? Greg, we've got Sandman, Mike, Natasha. Good morning to you. We've got Temi, Itama, Andrew, Carl, John. Garlic Breadman, how you doing? Robert, Alex, Watto, Connor. We've got Troy. We've got Alex there. Troy. We've got loads of you. Good morning. Who's on Facebook? We've got Edrid. We've got Danny Eames, Paul Crawford, Simroy, and Siraj. Good morning to all of you. And Alex, can I say thank you very much, dude, for gifting 5 memberships. The gong isn't quite retired yet. Vicky, I can see you there as well. Lovely to have you all tuning in. Now, there's one thing I want to kick off this show by talking about. I don't remember there being, well, it's not happened yet, but if it's going to happen. This summer is going to be a madness when it comes to managerial changes. Now, we already know, of course, Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool. Surprised everybody last week, but Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool. And it's not just Jurgen Klopp leaving. The sporting director's leaving. There's going to be a whole wave of change going through Liverpool this summer. On top of that, over the weekend, we've had confirmation here that Xavi is going to be leaving Barcelona. So that's Liverpool and Barcelona both looking for new managers this summer. Robert, thank you for putting that out. I have indeed been working on the lighting. I've got a new light in over that side. I've improved the lighting on this side. Yeah, thank you very much for pointing that out. But so that's Liverpool and Barcelona, who are both looking for managers this summer. All right. Thomas Tuchel is out there. I mean, he may as well say, I want the Barcelona job. All right. Because he's not going to become manager of Real Madrid. They've already just extended with Ancelotti. I think it was in December, extended to 2026. So that's probably, I would be surprised if Bayern Munich weren't looking for a new manager this summer, because I think they still think they're second behind Leverkusen. Anyway, I think that will probably means that it's Liverpool, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and then on top of that, you add in all of these. Roma have got an interim manager. Well, De Rossi until the end of June. Will he get the contract on a long-term deal? We'll find out. Napoli, they've got a similar arrangement with Walter Mazzari. You've got Argentina, who might be looking for a new manager. Germany might be looking for a new manager after the Euros. I think Nagelsmann's only signed a short-term contract. So that could be, like, there was a story yesterday, which it's a real shame it's not true. But Arteta leaving Barcelona. No, sorry, Arteta leaving Arsenal and probably going to Barcelona as well. So I don't know what's going on there, but conceivably this summer, it could be Liverpool, Barcelona, Germany, Argentina, Bayern Munich, Napoli, Roma, all looking for managers this summer, which is why, oh, that's the wrong one, which is why there is so much pressure on Erik ten Hag to start delivering with this team now. Because, Matt, it's not, when it comes to forward planning and forward thinking, Man United have to be looking now, INEOS, towards that summer going, this is, there are a lot of teams, a lot of big teams who are going to be looking for managers. We can't be left until April and then to decide that it's not working with Ten Hag. I'm not here actively calling for Erik ten Hag to be sacked. I want him to be successful between now and the end of the season. I want him to show me that United can play like we did around about this time last year. It was our best football leading up to the League Cup final. I want to see that again, but consistently. Right? And that's just not what we saw against Newport yesterday. Now, there were positives to take from that game. Look, we scored 4 goals, of course, it's against Newport. But the way we played in that first 15 minutes, it looked and felt completely like the battering was finally coming. We've said it so many times here. Like, at some point, it's all going to click. At some point, United will just batter a team. And we're 2-0 up within 12 minutes, and we're still creating chances. And it just felt like we were going to annihilate them. But we didn't. And that's a problem. But yeah, Erik ten Hag now, results aren't enough for Erik, in my opinion. In terms of when you've got, let's pull this photo up. Don't know which one it is. Oh, look at that. Clicked it first time. When you've got Dave Brailsford sitting there looking on, you've got Manchester United sitting there looking on, we've got to deliver with the performances as well as the results. And the annoying thing is that I think that game yesterday, right? Oh, look at that, Klein. Klein, you G. Jeez. And then about a G thing, baby. Gifting 5 memberships. Good morning to all of you. The annoying thing is that Manchester United, as I said, were really very good in the first 15 minutes, first 15, 20 minutes. There were patterns of play. There were consistencies in how we were attacking, which is something that a lot of people have been calling for. The shape sort of still chopped and changed as the game went on. It felt like United's players lost focus of the original game plan when we went 2-0 up. That's personally what it felt like to me watching that game. Like, everything that we had sort of trained, we're 2-0 up now. Okay, well, we can start kind of try and do other things. And ultimately, we won 4-2, isn't it? I mean, it's only Newport. No offense, Newport. I'll read some of your comments out down here. I missed the match from the stats. Oh, Steph, yeah, we've missed a match. Shame for you. Tipping point for United. Discipline needed on and off the pitch, says Stephanie. Let's run through some individual talking points, right? Because Bruno Fernandes was man of the match. And in my opinion, I think he was man of the match. I think I agree with that one. I mean, you could have given it to a couple of others. But I personally think it was Bruno. And what I've just said there about Man United and how we played in that first 15, 20 minutes, it was obvious that we'd worked on that in the training ground, right? And If I was to go, I know I'm right because I remember it. If I was to go now and pull up videos of the preseason, the first preseason, and I think in the second preseason too, Manchester United focused so much on creating overloads and overlaps in wide positions and then cutting the ball back to the edge of the box. Like, it is the easiest goal in the world to score. You're not like fizzing in a cross and you've somehow got to get a toe on the end of it. Nah, you just create an overload, run to the byline, pull it back on the floor to the edge of the box, and you're probably going to get a decent chance. And Man United scored twice from that. It's simple. But then when we went 2-0 up, that sort of changed. And I knew somebody would come in that comment. Joseph, Bruno gives away possession more often. Yeah. Yes, because he is the chief creator. As a chief creator, you give away the ball more often. Go look at Kevin De Bruyne's stats. He does the exact same thing. But Bruno is completely spot on when he's saying this. Right? In the first half, we had chances to kill the game. The one that drew frustration, I think even Ten Hag mentioned it after the game, was the ball, the spin and the pass and the ball over the top from Lisandro Martinez. Out wide to Garnacho. Hojlund absolutely sprint into the back post. All you need to do is a cross, a nice simple, I say it's a simple cross. It's a hard pass to do, but you're an elite footballer. You should be able to do it. A cross from Garnacho, find Hojlund at the back stick. It would have been 3-0. Garnacho decided to have a shot, hit the bar. I think yesterday, Garnacho and Antony must have had like 15, 20 chances between them. And Rasmus Hojlund was absolutely starved, right? Absolutely starved of the ball. Honestly, when I was watching that game, it honestly felt like it's almost like they were actively trying to not give the ball. I know they weren't actively trying to not give the ball to Hojlund, but it almost felt like that. And you know what it is? I've been thinking about this. Is this, right? So Bruno Fernandes here talking about Manchester United actively working on the cutbacks and how it worked. Because it did work. We got two goals and we should have had more. The thing is with Rasmus Hojlund, he doesn't. This is where there has to be a tweak in style, either from Rasmus Hojlund or from how we're playing. If we're aiming to create chances by cutbacks, and it either is Hojlund's going to have to. Hojlund's natural run is more towards how Newport scored their second goal. Right? Do you remember it? The ball over the top. Well, it wasn't. It was a switch of play out to the left winger for Newport, and he curved across in, just kind of dropped on the 6-yard box, and a Newport player just ran in, got a toe on the end of it, and snuck it in. Right? That's not a goal from a cutback. That's a goal from just a cross that goes in, well timed, and the striker's making his run to the front post. That's what. Oh my God, is my camera frozen again? Oh, this is annoying me so badly, people. Sorry. I'm going to have to restart. I thought I fixed this. I've just had the camera on for 45 minutes as well, and it was working perfectly. Fuck this. Right. Is that definitely frozen? Yep. It's definitely frozen. Sorry. I'm getting really, really pissed off at this. Really, really annoyed. I've changed HDMI wires. I've updated it. I've restarted. I've done absolutely everything, and it's still freezing people. Technology is brilliant. I think there's one thing that annoys me more than anything in the entire world. It's when technology doesn't work. Everything you're doing work-wise is perfect, and then bzz, something goes off. Nothing annoys me more. I thought I fixed it, and I hadn't. The camera was on for like 50 minutes before the show started, just to make sure that it didn't freeze. 10 minutes into the show, it decides to freeze. Brilliant news. No, it's definitely not time for a new laptop. I've done a million things. I will try and get that sorted, but it will probably freeze again during this show. What can I do? I have no idea what I can do. There are 400 million jobs on my list constantly. So the last thing I need is a camera that decides to freeze. Brilliant. But there's a video I want to pull up here from actually no, not this part yet. This is just a comment here from Alan Shearer on Hojlund. That my point here is that either Hojlund's going to have to start, instead of running to the front post, kind of check his runs and go and try and be that person who's waiting on the edge of the box for those cutbacks, or United have got to start firing in earlier crosses. It's one of those two things. John, yeah, I've got a backup camera. I'm going to have to put it in and on. Brilliant. Anyway, my point here is that Hojlund, and look at this stat. Right? Look at this stat. Of his 8 goals this season, 5 of them he's made himself. And that goal he scored there against Newport, completely made just by himself, just like being busy in the box. If we spend 70 million on a striker, then you gear your team towards maximizing said striker's potential. I mean, it's obvious. And that's either got to come down to the tactics of Ten Hag and the team, or Hojlund's got to slightly tweak it. It's probably a bit of both. We're used to playing with all these players are used to having no striker in this team. And still, it's now February, and now it has changed. That's poor. That means it's not been worked on, or it's being ignored. One of the two things. But that game yesterday was 2-0 after 12 minutes, and it should have been 4-0 after 25. But United never ever really seem to get that third goal. I said it in my match reaction, and it's completely true. The third goal is the one that changes everything. If you're 2-0 down, you can get 1 goal back. Oh, brilliant, we're back in the game. It's exactly what Newport did. Came out in the second half, we were crap. They scored the second. We won 4-2. Brilliant. But we let them back in the game. You score a third goal, changes it all. You get a third goal, you can just sit a little bit deeper and just pick the teams off one pass at a time. We never give ourselves the opportunity to do that. And as I said, because of everything that's going on with INEOS and the restructuring, because of everything that's going on with so many teams looking for managers and how busy it's going to be this summer, Erik Ten Hag cannot afford for these inconsistencies, or maybe consistently inconsistent. Like, he can't afford for these to exist in this team now. We play Wolves on Thursday, and just the margin for error for Manchester United now is minimal by comparison. Things have changed. And I think I like to think I'm quite a reasonable United fan. I don't know. I don't go in too hard. Well, certain players I do. But even myself as a Ten Hag supporter, of somebody who will praise the success that he's had at the club overall, he needs to get this team and just turn them into killers on the pitch. Like 2-0. At 2-0, everybody went, we've won this game. Let's just have a bit of fun. Let me see if I can get a Rabona cross in. Let me see if I can score from outside the box. Let me just, I don't know, just try it. Why not? Like, fuck that mentality. You're 2-0 up. Okay, we'll just go. They're down, wounded. Then just go and just pummel them. Absolutely pummel them. And that mindset just switches. It just switched off after 2-0. It absolutely did. And that there, you can blame Erik ten Hag all you want. That there is down to the players. That is down to the players on the pitch. You had a game plan. We worked on it all week. You scored 2 of the goals within 15 minutes. And then you stopped doing it. Why is that? All right. I know you can blame there, finger pointing everywhere. There were some positives from the game yesterday, right? Let's not try and pretend that a 4-2 defeat is abysmal and there's nothing good to come out of it, right? Kobbie Mainoo scoring his first senior goal for Manchester United. Lovely finish from him, and I've been saying it for quite a while now. Kobbie Mainoo's not a number 6 in isolation. He's way better than that. He does have, he does have ability going forward. He does have the ability for the final pass. And look, he popped up with a goal. Again, just wasn't a carbon copy of the first goal, but pretty much. Antony on the left, just in space, drifting it back to Bruno on the edge goal. Delo runs into space, passes it back, simple pass on the floor to Mainoo, sweeps it in. Lovely goal from him. And it is awesome to see Mainoo and Garnacho. Mainoo and Garnacho, 18 and 19, both coming through the FA Youth Cup winning team and establishing themselves as first team players. So that's a positive unto itself. Unto itself. And if I'm going to take the biggest positive from yesterday, I'm going to be taking this, right? I'm going to be taking Lisandro Martinez's performance and return. That there was Lisandro Martinez. Now, of course, it was only Newport. Yes, blah, blah, blah. Say what you want. I'm not looking at how he outplayed players from League Two. That's not what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at the touches, the physicality, him looking up. Lisandro Martinez made a big old difference to how Manchester United played. The passes, vertical passes, passes from the back over the top. Just he looked far more like Lisandro Martinez than he did at any point this season. I've got Wolves next, and it's going to be I hope this is him now fit and for the rest of the season, right? And on top of him returning, I thought Luke Shaw returning. That whole left-hand side looks significantly better. And Delo getting an assist from right back. He's a better right back than he is a left back. And Luke Shaw is a better left back than Delo is. I was speaking about how our fullbacks are going to be. I thought they played all right. I thought Luke Shaw made a big difference. And we need Shaw fit. We need Martinez fit. And with both of those there, we should be a lot more comfortable playing out from the back. But somebody who I don't actually have a photo of here, and let me just quickly pull a photo up of him, because it wasn't just them who returned, was it? I think you know who I'm going to speak about here, and I probably should have had a photo of him anyway. I'm so annoyed that my camera keeps freezing. I've already switched to HDMI wire. I've already updated that. I've already updated the browser. Well, I don't know what else I can troubleshoot. There's another HDMI I can do that. Do I need to? Troubleshooting things are dead annoying, and that's what I've been doing all weekend with the software, let alone this, with the camera too. But this man returned to action as well. Let me pull this up. Man, I've got a lot of tabs open today. We are in Tab City. What did you make of Casemiro's return? Because I thought man, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm being overly harsh, but it looked like he hadn't. I mean, I know he hadn't, but it really did look like he hadn't started a game for Manchester United since November. And inside that midfield setup yesterday was, in my opinion, the most balanced trio we're going to have in this squad from a profile perspective. You've got Bruno Fernandes, who is the chief creator, and you don't really want him to have any responsibility, too much responsibility, going back, tracking back, covering positions, all that jazz. You want to create a midfield that can support that. And Kobe Mainu is somebody who is very comfortable receiving the ball from deep, but also comfortable bringing the ball forward. He's that perfect player to be the hybrid between the number 6 and the number 8. And then Casemiro is somebody who we should be able to rely on to permanently make himself available with a pass from the defense. He's got to be that first phase progressor, which I don't think he ever was. And I don't ever think he'll be the best in the world at. I think Casemiro, I don't think it, we've seen it already. Casemiro is like Rooney and somebody who does need a couple of games to sort of get cooking again. But he didn't look match fit, in my opinion. And everything just kind of seemed a little bit slower. I imagine he'll probably get better, hopefully, with a few more games under his belt. But I've said this already, and I'll say it again. I personally would be surprised, and I don't mean this in a horrible way, but I personally would be surprised if Casemiro is a Manchester United player next season. I think INEOS will be looking at this and saying that we can get a return, some return on Casemiro, and we should reinvest it into a profile like this. That's just my personal take. But I really do hope that Casemiro, between now and the end of the season, starts to refine the form that made him this indispensable for United last season. Because I think he's the best option that we do have in that midfield in that position. Personally, you could play Eriksen there, but again, if you're looking at problems with Eriksen, you're looking at compromises. Yeah, I think a lot of you agree down there in the comments. And the next person I want to speak about, there's a couple more players, and then we're speaking about Rashford. I didn't want to speak about Rashford at the start of the show. But Antony, I don't know how Antony has managed to get a goal and assist yesterday and just kind of left me feeling a bit angry with his performance. I don't know what... fire in your comments, everybody. I don't really know why I'm thinking that, but it's just frustrated me, I suppose. I've not checked out with Antony, and I think I said this in my match reaction yesterday, and this is I was pausing. I was thinking I can't really verbalize what it is. It probably is to do with the one-dimensional side of his game. I mean, he did play okay. We went on the left. He got a cross in for Bruno's first goal, so he got an assist, and he got the third goal. Actually scored with his right foot. But we just need more. This United team just needs more. We need more from Antony. We need him to be able to go on the outside. We need him to be able to drift past a player. We need Garnacho to be able to find the balls in the box for Hojlund as well as scoring. We just need more from some of these players. And it might sound like an unreasonable expectation, but I don't particularly think it is. Alex, I was surprised that Newport sort of didn't show him to the outside. That was just, I suppose, a bit naive of them. I don't know. But yeah, I was a little bit frustrated with Antony's performance. There's lots of other talking points. I don't particularly think there's a whole conversation to be had about Bayindir. I thought he played all right. I thought Ten Hag said he was like, hey, he was composed. I don't think he did anything massive, like stand out right. And I don't think he really made any mistakes. I think it was a decent debut from him. I think Onana also comes straight back into the 11. Now, this is certainly one of the biggest talking points, not Bayindir, wrong photo, that we need to discuss here this morning. So let's dedicate 10 minutes or so to speaking about Marcus Rashford. The confirmation came out on Saturday night from The Athletic, And that's when I reacted to it. I don't like jumping on stuff like this too soon until we know more of the facts. All the videos and photos started to emerge, suggesting that Marcus Rashford had been to the pub on Wednesday and then had been out in a club in Thompson's on Thursday, and that, yeah, that's why he called in sick. And we don't know whether that was the case, but he was in Thompson's, a club in Belfast, on Thursday night. Flew on a private jet back to Manchester on Friday morning and called in sick for training. And I want to pull this video up here from Alan Shearer and Micah Richards speaking on BBC yesterday about Marcus Rashford, and then we can have a conversation in the comments.
There's a huge talent in there with Marcus Rashford. We saw him be disciplined last season when he was late for a meeting. He actually missed a game. But something is clearly wrong, either at home or his relationship with the football club, because he can't keep doing this. He can't waste his talent. It's not right. He needs strong management, someone to get hold of him and say, you know what, you get to the end of your career and you have huge regrets. You can't have that, and you don't need that.
It's causing more problems. We're supposed to come to the game today and focus on what they need to do. And now we're having to ask him what's happening off the pitch. Yeah. And it's just not been good enough from the whole squad since Ten Hag has come to the club.
Ten Hag said that it's an internal matter, which it absolutely is. And I think that's exactly what it should be. Now, something that I found quite interesting this morning, as I said at the start of the show, is Marcus Rashford arrived at Carrington, and so did his brother and agent, Dane. So they've come ready and prepared for whatever they are going to speak to Ten Hag about. What do you think? Leave it in the comments here, right? What do you think is a fair and correct punishment for this? Rashford could miss, 2-3 match days and be fined a couple of weeks' wages. I don't think it's going to go as far as the Jadon Sancho situation. I don't really think it should. Sancho basically called his manager a liar in public. I think that's a bit different. But I'm going to be interested to see what you're saying down here. 2 weeks' wages, additional training, fine and money goes to Newport. Sits out a couple of weeks, trains with the kids. 3-match ban, 3 weeks' wages. A fine and a final warning, says John. 2 matches benched. 2 games stand down. Suspension and a fine. I don't know. I personally think that it's got to be Rashford has given Ten Hag no choice on this. And if I was Ten Hag, that would be the first thing I say to Rashford and his brother and his agent to come in. He goes, "What choice have you given me? What ability have you given me to make a decision on this? You know exactly what I've been doing with Ronaldo and with Garnacho when he missed he was late for preseason, so he didn't feature for anything. You yourself, when you were late for training before the Wolves game and I dropped you. You earlier this season, when you went out to a club in Manchester after we lost the Manchester derby. I think it was Rashford's birthday. But Ten Hag was like, well, he probably shouldn't have done that. And we've had a conversation. After all of that, you then go and do this. Like, what do you expect me to be able to do? And Rashford he must just not care. He must just not care enough. Because it's the 21st century, man. It's 2023. There are cameras, there are phones, there are everything. Rashford knew full well Going to that club was going to be public knowledge. But it didn't stop him going. And this is the people are like, it doesn't matter what the players do on their day off. It doesn't. As soon as it starts impacting what you're doing at Manchester United, then it is a problem. I would be surprised if there's not quite a severe punishment here from Erik ten Hag. And I think I've said this. I've been thinking about it for some time, that it feels like Rashford to PSG this summer is going to happen. I've thought it and felt it for a while because of Mbappe to Real Madrid. I've explained it a few times. I see him being the big exit this summer and Manchester United reinvesting the money that we get from Marcus Rashford going for it. Because as Alan Shearer said in that video, something has been cut. Now, whether it's something going on in Rashford's personal life that Manchester United aren't aware of, that he's been keeping to himself, or maybe they are aware of it and he's been trying to deal with it and currently hasn't been. Or whether it's just his relationship with the club, as Alan Shearer said. Something is wrong. Now, I definitely think that the Sancho situation played on it, but man, Marcus, man. I don't even think that's naive. I think that's just a direct indicator of him not giving a fuck. Because you wouldn't do it if you did. Truth be told. You really wouldn't. You want a drink? Cool, man. Go around someone's house. Do it indoors. Go out to a club. The day before, I said this in the Arms before the game yesterday. I said, look, if you put a sickie at work, right, and we've all done it, we've all pulled sickies at work. I've been up all night with food poisoning. I've been throwing up everywhere. I hope I'll be all right the next day. And he goes, all right then. Well, I hope you feel better in the morning, Sam. And then 20 minutes later, you get a message from your boss saying, Sam, just found this video of you going into a nightclub in London last night. Can you just have a look at this? Can you just let me know if this is you? And you're like, balls. I didn't know that video existed. You'd be getting slapped up by your boss. You would. You just wouldn't do it. Oh, footballers are humans too. I can't remember what the saying is. There are responsibilities, and I don't know why I like doing these analogies, but it kind of makes sense to me. I love to enjoy myself at weekends, right? I love to enjoy myself with friends. I love a good time. I love a good sesh. But I cannot do this job properly with the size of the community that we've built, with the live shows that we do in the morning. If I do that with a hangover, my brain does not work. So I can't do it anymore. You can't have your cake and eat it. If you want to be like a top level, there are just certain things you cannot do. With great powers come great responsibility. Thank you, Paul. I couldn't get that out of my head. Rashford is an absolute A-grade idiot for that. At a time when Hojlund isn't scoring much, at a time when we need our players to step, at a time when INEOS are looking in and going, right, we're trying to fix the standards in this club. What do you mean Marcus Rashford? INEOS are going to take that decision away from Erik ten Hag. We don't currently have the football director in place to do that, but he will. They are not going to take any. There are going to be 0 passengers at Manchester United. And that sort of behaviour is somebody who, in my opinion, probably feels very, very comfortable. I'll get away with that. What are they going to do? What you think they're going to sell me? Okay, right, cool. I think Rashford's overplayed his hand there, and I think he felt like he could get away with it, which is why the response from Erik ten Hag has unfortunately got to be a powerful one. In the same way it was a powerful one with Ronaldo, in the same way it was a powerful one with Sancho. And like, honestly, ladies and gents, you can shout and scream so much to me about all the things that Ten Hag has got wrong tactically and all these things about shape and and this and that. But until we get rid of this mentality inside this squad, which is poison and has poisoned everything at this club for so long, whether it's Ronaldo, whether it's Sancho, whether it's Rashford doing dumb stuff like that, try and put that blame on the manager. I beg you. Until we've got an entire team of winners down there. Who's this person in here spamming on Facebook? You, sir, are getting banned. Like, man, Erik ten Hag has had to deal with some A-grade drama at this club. Let alone actually trying to get this team to play good football and all the injuries we've had and the takeover on top of that. Players doing stuff like this. It's like, really? Like that, Erik ten Hag, really, Marcus? You've really done that? Really? Brilliant. All right. Thank you so much for doing that. Honestly, thank you so much for doing that. It's one thing after another with this club. Really is. I'm going to see what you're saying down here in the comments, right? ELMs, let's not judge him so quick. Some of these players don't know how to handle personal problems they face. He's probably going through something. Yeah, he absolutely is. But ELM, Marcus Rashford is 26 now. If personal problems and all this stuff, then speak to the club. And if that was the case, then Erik ten Hag, and he has done, Erik ten Hag has defended him. The fact of the matter is, if you're going to push to sign a contract worth north of £300,000 a week, there are going to be extra levels of scrutiny. There are much higher levels of scrutiny with United People's TV now that we've got nearly 400,000 subscribers and we've got a massive community here compared to when we have 40,000. We could probably get away with doing different things at that point, but we can't now because there's more spotlight. There's more scrutiny. All right? It's part of growth. It's part of personal growth. And it's weird. It's just angered me. Like, Marcus Rashford is literally the senior attacker in this squad now. Martial's gone. I don't count him. Hojlund is 20. Garnacho is 19. Antony is, 22? I don't even know who else we got in this squad. I think everybody, let's have a look, go down these attackers. Martial, Rashford, Hojlund, Garnacho, Antony, Sancho. Yeah. Rashford is the example. Rashford is the senior example in this team now. So don't talk to me about growth and all this and that. Everybody's looking to him for how to act. That's Casemiro. And that's how he's done it. It's just, it's so poor for Marcus. And I am somebody who has defended him a lot on this channel. And I think he's going to have to get punished quite severely for that, in my opinion. Deary, deary me. Deary, deary me. And yeah, as I said, a final note there, the fact that his brother and agent, Dane has come in with him, I think he's prepared for that conversation. Honestly, could you imagine? Do you imagine if Amazon had done a documentary at United these last 2 years? These first 2 seasons with Erik ten Hag? You can't make it up. Like, half of it, you can't make it up. And he goes, no, it's actually all of it's happened. All of it. I'm expecting news to come out of somebody shagging someone's wife now. It just feels like that's the next progressive step. Brian Giggs, V2 we call that. It's just this football club, man. And that's why INEOS, that's why we need that's why we need this, man, this audit. This audit by INEOS is going to be rather deep. But look, let's finish on a positive note here, right? Well, not quite. We're not finished quite yet. Can I just say I apologize about... I'm trying to think of how I can fix this camera. HDMI wire's been replaced. Software's been upgraded and updated. One more that can... I've got an idea. I'll try and figure it out after. But look, Manchester United's under 18s. I've been speaking about them for some time. I think I've already said this before, but I'll say it again now. I am working with Academy. Is it Academy? Academy United. One second, I've got to get the name of the actual Academy Arena. Right? These guys here. How do you put up a profile on here? Man, the new tweet deck is terrible. Bloody hell. All right, I can't put it up. Anyway. I've got an interview series set with somebody. His name's Daff. And he is a big follower of the under-18s and the academy teams. He is going to come on to this channel and we are going to speak about, we're going to do a 5-part series. We're going to take a look at probably 3 individual youngsters from the under-18s who really deserve more attention. And we're going to sort of offer some insight into that. And also we're going to take a look at the sort of wider players inside all of our youth team systems because they really are playing fantastic. They beat Leeds 4-0 at the weekend. They made 9 changes to the team that beat City 1-0 the week before, and they still won 4-0. Absolutely crushing it. Ibrahimov made his under-21s debut at the weekend. He played in the under-18s game, came off the bench, and then played in the under-21s game later on that day. Steve, are you using a HDMI splitter? No, I'm not using a HDMI splitter. I think I might have to buy another piece of equipment. Joy or joy. We'll figure it out. But look, last couple of minutes of the show. Can everybody fire in your questions and comments? My overall point here today is that Erik needs more. Erik needs more. Erik, that first 15 minutes where everybody's head was screwed on and they followed and executed what we trained on, we were 2-0 up. We were cruising. And it should have been 3 before 20. But then it changed. And then we weren't going for the cutbacks. Despite creating chance after chance, we weren't going for it. What was working, the players just stopped doing it. And it's so frustrating. And that, in my opinion, is not on the manager. That's down to the players in-game deciding, you know what? Just fancy going for it myself. And that there didn't happen. They didn't score. We let them back in. It was, to be fair, it was a worldie goal that got them back in the game. But then it was 2-2 after half time. Wolves coming on Thursday. That game's coming thick and fast now, ladies and gents. We've got Wolves on Thursday. Then we've got West Ham on Sunday. And I think our next game after that is Villa away. But if Erik ten Hag is going to be in a job at Manchester United next season, he's going to have to get this team firing between now and the end of the season because, as I said at the start of the video, Liverpool are looking for a manager. Barcelona are looking for a manager. I think Bayern Munich are going to be looking for a manager. Argentina will be. Napoli will be. Maybe AC Milan will be. Maybe Germany will be. Maybe. There's a lot. So United, under INEOS, will not sit and wait around. Erik, it's on you to get these performances as well as the results. Yesterday was a result, but it wasn't the overall performance. It should have been 5-6-0. And I personally think that's on the players switching their approach mid-game or just kind of switching off from the approach that we had going into it. Feels like that's what's happened. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I apologize about the camera freezing. There is no real obvious reason as to why this is happening. I might buy one new piece of equipment. I might try that. I might set up a spare camera on here, which won't quite be as tight as the look on here or as nice, but it'll at least be a camera in case it does freeze. Hope it doesn't work freezing the new software. Imagine that. I get all the software finally done and then my camera just starts randomly freezing. Brilliant. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be here tomorrow morning. I'll be here at lunchtime today with, I'm not sure what today's video is going to be on. There's quite a few talking points. I haven't decided which one is going to deserve a video yet, but I'll cover it. Thank you all for tuning in.